Charles Dickens once said, "It was the best of times. It was the worst of times." Nowadays, to some millennials and some baby boomers, it seems that Gen Z have more opportunities, possibilities, and freedom to express themselves than ever before. And some people might even have this perception that Generation Z is probably the luckiest generation so far, and then Gen Zs were born during the perfect time when everything was on the rise. However, based on myself, some of my friends, and people I met who were Gen Zs, we want to claim that this is not the case. Generation Z has not been living the best of times, but definitely not the worst. So, what exactly is Generation Z? It traditionally considers anyone who was born between 1995 and 2015. So the youngest Generation Z are only 6 years old. According to the research, Generation Zs are considered to be digital natives, pragmatic, and we value individual expressions and avoid labels. Interestingly, the research also showed that we are the least likely to drop out of high school compared with other generations. However, Generation Zs are more likely to report mental health problems. Based on a study from the American Psychological Association, this age group is the least likely to report fear or excellent mental health. Gen Zs understand that we're living in a society fostering an increased level of stress and anxiety. And one of the main causes of stress, anxiety, and depression in Generation Z is social media. We cannot ignore its impact on young members of Generation Z nowadays. We are living in a web of social media. How many of us had taken out our phones in class just to scroll through pictures on WeChat or Instagram and got a self-reflection for that? And how many of us feel insecure and inadequate about ourselves after checking out what our friends had just posted? We're making pretty selfies with white straight teeth, pretty noses, big eyes, and almost transparent skin through applications like Beautycam and Photoshop. And we're sharing these vacation photos with cool vintage clothes, pictures of raging parties, etc., all to look cool and as if we're living in a dream. These are the reasons we can get jealous easily, but mostly have feelings that our own bodies, our own lives are miserable, ugly, and inappropriate. I remember there was a period of time I had to quit using social media just because I got upset when I saw somebody else get to live the life I was dreaming of, but I didn't. And I used to have a bunch of friends who got mad just because they didn't get enough likes on Instagram. Jealousy, low self-esteem, insecurity can all lead to developments of anxiety and even depression. Generation Zs were born when social media already existed, and we unconsciously compare ourselves with other people. Therefore, Gen Zs are so easy to caught up looking for connections and validations virtually that disconnect us from the reality, and we start losing appreciation of what we already have. In conclusion, social media can greatly affect the mental health of Generation Z. It can boost our self-esteem when we use it for the benefit of human connections. However, it can also make us feel insecure and inadequate about ourselves. Gen Zs, I'm not telling you to quit using social media, but I suggest we should stop spending too much time on it. We should accept that life is not as perfect as what it seems on social media. Life can get messy and we might feel down every once in a while. But as long as we embrace all our flaws and imperfections and stop comparing ourselves with other people, we will stop feeling inadequate and obsessing over what we don't have. After all, we're all imperfect human beings, and that's who we are. Only by embracing all our flaws and imperfections can we, Generation Z, make this world a better place. Thank you.